We have our friends. She always brings marmalade, and so whenever she brings marmalade, I bring George.
That's always one of my favorites. I was happy because I always liked the story. For some reason, as a kid, I was trying to story because it wasn't.
Yes, I even have the records. You know. And by the way, on the Star Trek stuff, I used to have the whole the blueprint of the ship, all the levels. I had a tricorder. I had all these things, and then when I like was in a hard to place, I had to sell all my Star Trek stuff. It was so sad. I had to sell it out. This guy was like running to my house. Don't sell it to anyone else. Yeah, but it was.
Hey, Bobby.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I want to get a picture.
I'm gonna shout it out loud. about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand, about lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Swing in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. There's a voice I've heard for years. I learned to keep it inside. Well, now it's coming out loud and clear. I want a deeper life. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, and wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand, about lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Thank you, musicians.
Thank you.
Please join me in welcoming also Evin today, who's going to be speaking on order. And I didn't introduce myself. Oh boy, I'm verklempt today. So I'm Bobby, and it's my pleasure to greet all of you. For those here in the sanctuary, as those watching it from live stream, we affirm that we're all in one spirit. So if you're at home and you're on the live stream, you're still here as a part of us. So we are so glad to be able to connect with you at home. So now, welcoming and joining Evin, our speaker today, and Rev Ev, I call him. I like that name for him. I don't know. It's just cool. And he's going to speak on order. And again, thanking our musicians, Brian and Wayne, sound. Their contribution to our ministry is really invaluable. So please join me now in opening prayer. Nope. Okay. Sweet Spirit, we open our hearts to receive you. We greet this day centered in God and the knowledge that we are all one in the Spirit of the Christ. Let us reside in this consciousness so that we may each become an individual expression of the love of God. We envision sending forth this love out to our world, seeking love, extending out to our unity community, to the center of Spokane, and out across the globe. We honor all those who worship on this day, no matter what their faith, for we know that there are many paths to God, but there is only one God. In the warm and loving spirit of unity, we say, thank you, God. Amen. So, I just want to invite you to be seated in a comfortable
position as we prepare for our meditation, and the musicians are going to prepare you with the song.
Surely the presence of God's love is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God's love is in this place. In the midst of his children, the Lord said he would be. It doesn't take very many. It can be just 2 or 3, and I feel that same sweet spirit that I've felt oft times before. Surely I can say I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of God's love is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God's love is in this place. There's a holy hush around us as God's glory fills this place. I've touched the hem of his garment. I can almost see his face, and my heart is overflowing with the fullness and the joy. I know without a doubt I've been with the Lord. Surely the presence of God's love is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God's love is in this place. Surely the presence of God's love is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God's love is in this place.
So I invite you to now just join me in our meditation today as we both visualize and affirm order, order being one of our Unity 12 powers. So I invite you to now just close your eyes and just allow your body to relax. Just letting your breath just flow naturally. No force, no stress, just allowing it to flow. Now, I invite you to turn your attention to your mind's eye. Some might call it the third eye chakra. Some might just call it the mind's eye. But I just invite you to turn your attention to that. Just allowing your intuition or your imagination to activate and to just really open your mind. And to visualize order, I ask you to walk into a vision of a summer green meadow. This meadow can look however you want it to look. Flowers, trees, maybe just tall grass. However you visualize your meadow is yours and yours only. And suddenly you look up and you see a path before you. It's a nice, welcoming path. Gentle breeze blowing. This path beckons you to follow it. And as you walk this path, just invite you to breathe in the intense scents that are in the air. Maybe it's your favorite flower, a scent of pine, of juniper. Whatever that scent is, you just notice it all around you and you begin to just breathe it in. And as you breathe in these wonderful scents and fragrances, I ask you now to visualize the color green. It's a brilliant color of green, a beautiful beckoning color of green. And as you breathe in the scents and the fragrances around you, I invite you to also breathe in this beautiful color of green, to breathe it into your abdomen, because your abdomen is the seat of the creative energy of divine order. Just allowing this green, this divine order to move throughout your body as you breathe. Allow it to fill your entire being from your crown all the way down to the soles of your feet. This green, this divine order. Just knowing that divine order knows exactly what it needs to do to bless and to inform your spirit, soul, and body of right, harmonious, and healing thoughts. Just being open and just allowing yourself to just feel a sense of gratitude and happy expectation that this divine energy is doing what it does. It's ordering all aspects of your being and all aspects of your life to produce the most desirable outcomes, the outcomes that are always for your highest good. Ordering what needs to be ordered, unblocking that which may be blocked, and just making those needed connections that you need. And I invite you to join me as we go into a moment of silence. And while we're in that silence, I invite you to just sit with this divine order. Perhaps questions arise. Allow yourself to be curious. Allow yourselves to feel, and just allow yourselves to be open as we enter into this moment of silence. And as you begin to bring your awareness back to this time and this space, I invite you to either silently or audibly, whatever feels the most comfortable to you, to repeat after me the following affirmations. I order my life with God, and God orders my life with good. I deepen my relationship with the divine, and the divine deepens my joy and prospers my life. As I take steps to be spiritually fit, new talents are revealed, new inspiration comes, and I am empowered to move forward in my life. Now let's just take a moment to just breathe that in and just to know that and to affirm that to be truth. And so it is, and so we allow it to be. Namaste.
Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, say, I believe. Spirit calls, come on up higher. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, sing, I believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, sing, I believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Sets us free from a lack of limitation. Sets us free to realize who we can be. We are made in the image and the likeness of God. Spirit calls, so stand up and believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, sing, I believe. Spirit calls, come up high. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, sing, I believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Spirit calls, Spirit calls, Spirit calls, Spirit calls. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Spirit calls, Spirit calls, Spirit calls. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Lifts us high and sets us free. Lifts us high and sets us free.
Thank you, thank you. So I just want to say that today we have a visitor with us, joining Sandra, Chris, and I, Robin Hamby. She is an amazing musician. She has a band. Oh, and I must introduce Marmalade, if you all remember Marmalade, too. There we go.
Our mascot.
So I think we're going to sing our church decree together, right? So let's all share in our church decree together. Beloved Mother, Father God, we open our hearts to be filled with divine love and our minds to be filled with divine light. Divine love and divine light now move through our center, guiding and protecting us, our families, friends, and neighbors. Divine love and divine light have drawn to us the perfect leader to guide this ministry into the future. We look forward with anticipation to welcoming new people, situations, opportunities, and activities that bless and are in harmony with truth and love. Together, we're touching hearts and transforming lives. Amen. Now let us recognize the Christ in all world leaders and affirm our decree for all people together. The light and love of God compels us, our leaders, and all human beings to do the right thing and to love and care for Mother Earth. Now I invite you to stand and pause in silence and acknowledge the divine in each other. For those joining us on live stream, I encourage you to envision yourself with all those you consider a part of your spiritual community. Feel free expressing love towards these individuals, beholding the divine presence within each of them. Thank you. You can be seated. So now, Robin is going to lead us in a song that she wrote called Living My Dream. She wrote the words and the music.
far, knowing who you are. I'm living a dream, my little miracle, pushing, giving, trying, living, praying, crying. I'm living my dream. The road is oh so long, twisted, but it made me strong. Trusting who you are, your heart will take you far. Gifts from above, smile, laughter, only love. Precious things adore, always wanting more. I'm living a dream, my little miracle, pushing, giving, trying, living, praying, crying. I'm living my dream. Gave my heart time to heal, let my soul just be still, never straying far, knowing who you are. Gifts from above, smile, laughter, only love. Precious things adore, always wanting more. I'm living a dream, my little miracle, pushing, giving, trying, living, praying, crying. I'm living my dream. I'm living a dream, my little miracle, pushing, giving, trying, living, praying, crying. I'm living, yeah, I'm living, yes, I'm living my dream.
I'd like to say thank you to Robin for being with us today and for Sandra coming back. Welcome back, Sandra. Finally got to meet her face to face today. Thanks to Chris and thanks to Bobby for wearing multiple hats this morning, platform assistant and music. And I'm Reverend Evin Wilkins, for anybody in here that I haven't met, for anybody that's watching us online this morning. And I do want to say, if we have anybody that's here for the first time today, or even anybody that's tuning in for the first time, if you're here for the first time, make sure you pick up one of our welcome packets. It gives you a little bit about what Unity's about. And there's a card on the front so you can stay on top of everything we have going on here. If you're tuning in online, just contact us here at the church and we can make sure that we drop one in the mail for you. So we always like to welcome new people. It's what Unity is, right? We like to welcome new people. And the people that have been around a while, too. Don't want to leave anybody out. But if you tuned in last week, I mentioned that we are now in our season of Lent. You know, this is the time that as we start moving into Easter. You know, and speaking of Lent, I do have a confession I'm going to make. And this is going to be out there in front of everybody since it's live and, archived somewhere. But I grew up in a Baptist church. And I grew up in a Baptist church that was out in the remote desert, the Chihuahuan Desert of West Texas. And if you've never been out there, there is nothing out there. Mindy can attest to that. Yeah, I grew up out there. Mindy's like, you grew up where? There's like no trees to be found. There is what we call a mesquite tree, but it's like basically more of a mesquite bush. But anyway. But although we celebrated Easter at my Baptist church, that was really about it. You know, there was no talk of Holy Week. I actually never heard of some of those things until I got into Unity. Holy Week, Lent, nothing but Easter. So is there anybody else that grew up in a church that didn't mention Lent, or am I the only one? Don't leave me hanging out here by myself, please. All right, well, okay, we've had a couple of hands raised. But as a result, it's still somewhat new to me. So I have to remember that it's upon us, and I'm no expert at it, especially when it comes to more traditional forums. But I've learned a bit about it here at Unity and how Unity views this time leading up to Easter. Now, it also helps that Unity has these nifty little booklets that help us stay on top of things. So our Lent book helps me greatly, but anyway. But in today's reading of our Lent book, Reverend Linda Martella Whitsett writes about order and cultivating order. Now, I happen to think that this theme fits perfectly with today. And really, this transitional time here at this church, right? Because, I've been here for 3 weeks now, but we're still in this time of transition. And we're also in this time of transition with the seasons. We've left winter, and now we're moving into this time of spring. And it's traditional times such as this that may leave us thinking a little bit about divine order. And wondering how, where, and if even it all fits. Where does divine order fit during these times? And how change that is often happening just right before our eyes, or maybe just so slowly we barely even notice it, how that also fits into and is a part of this divine order that we talk about. Of course, there are a lot of instances in order in our lives. A lot of instances that take, of change that happen over our course of lifetime during this life. Or life during this lifetime, whatever. Y'all get the gist. But some changes that we have happen in our life, even if they're kind of divine order, we want these changes to happen, right? Some changes are welcome. We get raises at work, or perhaps we have grandchildren that are being born into our lives. Maybe if you're still working, you finally landed that dream job, and there's a change with that dream job. You finally meet the perfect spouse or the perfect partner, retirement, all kinds of things are change in our lives, periods of transition. And these changes are seen as a cause of celebration, right? That's when we break open the champagne or the fizzy cider, and we just get ready to party. We get ready to celebrate, right? Because we're happy. But then, there are those other kinds of changes, right? Those that we weren't prepared for. Or maybe those changes, when we think about it, we're like, I'm not really liking that change so much. It's not one that I anticipated or one that I want. Those that make us want to run and hide rather than break out those party favors. And some of you may or may not know that I'm a veteran of the U.S. Air Force. Now, those who have served in the military, you know that everything is very routine and everything is very orderly. It's not often that, we veer away from that when we're in the military. So you can imagine how it probably kind of threw a little bit of a wrench into my world when an unexpected change happened during the time that I've served. I worked with these two supervisors that I really, really liked. They were amazing. We had like this good rapport built. I knew exactly what they expected. We had fun together. I had fun going to work. They were easy to work with, and they brought a little bit of flexibility into an otherwise pretty rigid environment. But one day I walk in, it was like a Monday morning, I walked in and two new supervisors were sitting there. And they were just hanging out as if they had always been there. In the military, unfortunately, they didn't ask my permission before they did that. The captain, the base recruiter, the base colonel, he didn't come to me and say, "Hey, Wilkins, is this cool with you?" No, he just went and did it. But, the military, they're not always so forthcoming with the decisions they're making or why they're making those decisions. So I didn't realize that this was coming. I was pretty upset and feeling a little bit of sadness that day. And I knew these two new people. I knew them, but not really well. I'm thinking to myself, is my work environment going to suddenly change? And if so, is it going to be for the better or not? So time starts to move on, and I begin to realize that these two created an environment that actually exceeded the last one. These two new supervisors, they were both really amazing people. And I realized as time went on that I was honored to serve under their leadership and their mentorship. And they also created a lot of positive change that really needed to happen when we started looking back. The military powers to be at the time, they knew that. They knew that needed to happen, which is why they made the change in leadership. So we can ask ourselves, was that perhaps divine order at work? I will say from that moment forward, I realized that change isn't always welcome. That change that kind of comes in and just seemingly catches us by the surprise and just kind of bops us over the head there. That's not always welcome. That change that we didn't see coming. But, that is divine order at work as well. Because sometimes it's that very change that turns out to open us a world of new opportunities beyond what we ever even thought possible, but beyond whatever we imagined. So in our Lent booklet, Reverend Linda also says, think of a time your flight got canceled at the last minute. We've probably almost all been there, right? When Mindy and I were coming here in October for the interview weekend, our flight got canceled last minute. But Reverend Linda says, recall the varying reactions among travelers, those who loudly protested and those who quietly altered their plans. Think about other times when your plans were interrupted or changed. Remember when you successfully adjusted your thought and action in a way that you established order in the midst of changing conditions. You demonstrated the adjusting power of order. So for me, the change in supervisors offered me this great opportunity for growth. Because before that time, I had always been one to resist change in my life. I grew up in the same house, with the same school, and the same friends. My parents had grown up in a neighboring town, still out in West Texas, and life was just pretty much even keel for the most part. Nothing in my life had ever really drastically changed as I was growing up. Change was something that very seldom ever crossed my path, at least any kind of major change, because we all have small changes always. But of course, I would start new school years and so forth, but it was usually always with the same kids. Seldom did we get any new kids in. Not really having much drastic change, I had never really had to put myself out there. I never really had to walk into moments of change that made me feel uncomfortable. Even in the military. I did experience change in my life to get to the point where I was in the military, right? I had to agree to make that change from my hometown to the military. But that was welcome because I wanted that change. I wanted to leave my hometown. I wanted to experience new things in my life. Again, that was welcome. But to have something like that happen at that time, the sudden change in my supervisors, and ultimately my experience at work, that went through me. But here I am talking about it several years later, so obviously I never forgot it, right? So all this gets me to thinking. And y'all will hear me say that a lot. I got to thinking, or it got me to thinking. Y'all will hear me say that a lot of Sundays. But maybe divine order isn't necessarily so much what it is that's happening in my life at any given time. Maybe it's the way I view changes or the way I perceive those changes. So in the Revealing Word, somebody you've probably heard about, our Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore, he says this about order. He says, the divine idea of order is the adjustment. And as this is established in human thought, our mind and affairs will be at one with universal harmony. So in other words, maybe where we find true power is in our ability to be flexible, to be able to bend and sway with the wind, aka being order, rather than in being rigid and unable to bend. So for me now, when change that seems unwelcome happens in my life, I use that as my anchor. And as a reminder that sometimes change happens to offer new growth and to offer new learning opportunities, and that maybe, just maybe, I should bend with it. Because maybe it's all in divine order, whether it seems that way at the time or not. And that's what I cling to. I cling now to the fact that change, it's going to happen as soon as we are, or as long as we are living and breathing. Change is going to happen. It's inevitable. The only certainty is that life is going to change. But it doesn't mean that it's not going to be for my good, and that there isn't going to be an opportunity for me hidden within that change. That change is still very much a part of divine order, whether that change feels welcome at the time or not. So another thing here that I feel worth mentioning when it comes to change is our principles. Most specifically our Unity 5 principles. Now the third principle says, and this is from Reverend Ellen Davenport's The 5 Principles book, it says, human beings create their experiences by the activity of their thinking. Everything in the manifest or in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought. And then she moves on into a chapter titled Co-Creating with God. So this again made me think for a moment. Just what if this change that I'm experiencing at any given time in my life, whether I like it or not, is not only part of divine order, but also part of my co-creation with God, with the universe, whatever name you use for it. Because if this change is presenting itself to me, maybe it is something that my higher self is manifesting into my life because I need it. What if this change is merely just another fork in the road? The road that is leading me to something I want or something I even need in my life. So most of the time, not always, but most of the time, those things we want to manifest in our lives, they don't just suddenly appear in an instant, do they? Sometimes they do, and that's really nice when it happens. But oftentimes a series of events in our lives leads up to that place of manifestation. And I ask myself again, perhaps divine order. Say you want to find the perfect spouse, the perfect partner. More often than not, they're not just going to one day ring your doorbell and say, "Hey, I'm here." That'd be great. Yeah. Well, and I'm not saying it can't happen, because it could. As she said, it's cheaper for those of you online. And I do agree with that statement, by the way. But it's often a series of events that happen that bring you and that person together. Somebody invites you to an event, and you meet each other there. You crash your car. Maybe I'm watching too many TV shows. Mindy and I do watch those Hallmark Christmas shows. But maybe you crash your carts into each other at the grocery store during that last-minute grocery store run. You made because you found you needed one more thing to complete the recipe. I think it is from a movie, possibly. But whatever it is, it's often a series of events that leads up to that meeting. So I ask again, perhaps divine order? Maybe the change that is happening in your life, even any change that's happening in your life today, Maybe it's happening in your life, setting into motion one of those moving pieces that you're using to co-create with that God presence. That part of you that is creating your experience. That experience that could only be divine order. So today, I want to give you an invitation, and the invitation is to just breathe. To breathe into change that is going to happen in your life at any given moment. Perhaps even right now, today. Change that is merely all a part of something more grand than you could ever imagine. Change that is this amazing opportunity to experience divine order as it unfolds. And as we know, sometimes it's welcome and sometimes it's not. But it doesn't mean that it's not still for our highest good. Maybe it's trying to show me a better way, a different way. Sometimes when it feels like anything but. Maybe it's presenting itself so that I will finally learn the art of release, the magic of release. Maybe it's presenting itself so that I will finally learn to trust that God presence within or the universe, so that I will listen to and I will allow my higher self to guide me upon this journey of life and to trust it. It may not always feel welcome. But remember the words that Jesus once spoke when He said in Matthew 11:28, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." And the Buddhists say, "She who knows life flows, feels no wear or tear, needs no mending or repair." So maybe it's time we learn to trust, to flow, and to look for that pearl in the oyster or that hidden diamond within. To look for those opportunities that life is presenting us and just maybe, waiting for us to find. Namaste.
Well, it's time for our love offering now. And I want to let you know that this is a time in our that we collect our love offering. If you're joining us from home, I invite you to continually support the Unity Center of Divine Love and Light as we endeavor to fulfill our mission of touching hearts and transforming lives. There's several ways you can share your financial support. If you wish to submit a donation online, simply pull up our website on your browser, www.theunitycenter.org, and click on the donate button at the top of the screen. If you prefer to send your donation by mail, address your envelope to Unity Center at P.O. Box 28127, Spokane, Washington 99228. We give because it's our nature to give, and I thank you for your consideration. Join me in affirming together our love offering statement together. Divine love in, through, and as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
To me to give up my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. Up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision.
Up to me to dance down that road.
Love is my decision.
No one else can lighten the load.
Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. My decision, right here and now.
Thank you. And thank you for that message too. I didn't say thanks, but really appreciate it. And, I really feel that the order, yeah, it's a good thing. So, Doug, you want to bring the offering bags forward? Thank you. We bless all those who share their gifts with us, with this ministry. We see these offerings going forth to do magnificent things. I encourage you to leave your prayer requests in the prayer box, which will be in the back of the sanctuary, or at any time you can leave a message on the church phone with any request for prayer support. The number is 509-489-6964, and our prayer team will be happy to pray with you and for you and your loved ones. All prayer requests will be prayed on for 30 days by both our prayer team and by Silent Unity. Thank you, Doug. Okay, Wendy's going to come up and bring some announcements.
Hello?
Hi, Wendy.
Okay, so we got a couple of announcements to make, and the first one is going to be business, and the next announcement is going to be, what is that I see on the horizon? Fun! Are you ready to have some fun?
Yep.
Okay, so the first announcement is our annual meeting is April 24th. It'll be directly after service, and we'll be nominating and voting on the new members and discussing our financial stability and hearing from our new ministers and a time for questions, ideas, and what we see in the future. So I would encourage you to come on April 24th, directly after service. This will be a potluck, and so we'll have the potluck directly after service, and then we'll go ahead with the meeting. The meeting doesn't I'm going to say hour and a half, something like that, but come and let your voice be heard. Let's discuss what we want to see for the future. We're going to we're going to have a membership drive at some point. We'll keep you informed on that. So if you're wanting to be a member, because you do have to be a member to vote on the board nominees and vote for everything that we do during the meeting. So we'll have all that information for you then on the 24th. And now the fun. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. So now that we've gotten to know Evin and Mindy a little bit, we'll get to know them for a little bit longer, and then let's just have an evening to just relax with them and just have a blast. We're going to call this their welcome party. And so, let's see. It's scheduled for May 6th, and we're going to invite the South Hill Church and the Coeur d'Alene Church, so we're hoping to have a big party. And we're going to have a Cinco de Mayo theme, which sounds like a lot of fun. And what do churches do best but a potluck? So we're going to have a potluck, and it's going to have a Mexican theme. So bring all your delicious favorite dishes, and we'll have a vegetarian.
Bring your maracas.
Yeah, and bring your maracas, Sandra says.
Oh, I thought you said margaritas.
Margaritas. Oh, wow. Well,
Okay.
Your mind is.
And I misspoke a little bit when I said that they were mostly vegetarians, Evan and Mindy. Evan eats chicken and fish, so, it's okay to bring dishes like that, but we'll need some vegetarian dishes. We will have vegetarian dishes. So I'll put out not this week, but next week I'll put out a sign-up sheet out in the hall for both of the potlucks. And we'll keep you informed on that. And when I'm talking fun, I'm talking music and dancing, and anybody else that wants to sing or have something to share with the congregation, that would be wonderful. So put these dates on your calendar, April 4th, directly after service for the business end. And then put this on your calendar, Friday, May 6th at 6 to 7 will be the potluck, and 7 to 9 will be the fun. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. It's time for our peace song now.
Just real quick, Bobby, I want to thank Unity for welcoming me again. I think this might be my, fourth time singing for you guys? So thank you for having me.
Be careful, we might not let you go home.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
I just have to say, letting the kids run in is like the running of the bulls. It was awesome. I was like, oh, look at them. They're just running in. It was great.
Right, yeah, they come running in. It's cute.
Incoming.
Hello. As we close our service, we offer the prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. I thank the universe for each new day, whether it's sunny or it's pouring rain. In any situation, time or place, my grateful heart creates a state of grace. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude.
The darkness taught me how to praise the light. Wrongness made me hunger for what's right. I haven't prayed where I don't see heaven's blessing pouring down on me.
Say yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
say
I'll sing it, Sandra.
yeah,
Yeah.
say yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude.
Oh, yeah. Get it.
I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. I used to cry for deliverance.
Oh, yeah.
send desperate pleas to the heavens.
Oh, yeah, Bobby. Sing it to us, girl.
And it wasn't until I gave up and I got still.
I can see all the gifts I've been given.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. I've got an attitude of gratitude.
Yeah.
I was gonna go for the high A, and I thought I think I'm gonna miss it. I was like, yeah, I don't think I would have quite had it. That was funny. Good job, guys.